There are conspiracy theories that feel cartoonish, and there's ones that should have just stayed in a nightmare. I'm Jason, and this is Through the Bulk, where today we're talking about one that didn't. A Cold War operation so disturbing and so outrageous that when it finally came to light, it left an entire generation asking, how could this have possibly happened? It was called Project Sunshine. In the 1950s, the United States and the Soviet Union were both testing nuclear weapons. It's like we were trying to win a nuclear arms bake-off. Those explosions, hundreds of them, released clouds of radioactive fallout all across the planet. Scientists began to worry about a particular element within that fallout, strontium-90, a carcinogenic isotope that settles into soil, gets pulled into crops, mixes into milk, and finally accumulates in the bones of children. And so far, this sounds like an urgent scientific study. But here's the part that turns science into horror. To track strontium-90 in the human body, you need human bones, preferably young ones, because children absorb more radiation. And instead of doing this ethically, instead of asking, informing, or seeking any kind of consent, US and British researchers quietly built a global network of hospitals, morgues, and medical schools to secretly obtain the bodies and body parts of deceased infants and children without telling their families. Parents mourned their babies, believing they were laid to rest whole, never knowing that scientists had taken bones, samples, and sometimes even entire bodies. Records show that hundreds of these samples, some stolen from as far away as Australia, Canada, and Europe, shipped discreetly to radiation labs. One internal memo, and this is real, coldly reads, "We are short of baby bodies. That is our primary difficulty." I mean, that's the kind of sentence that makes you sit with your head in your hands. Project Sunshine wasn't uncovered until 1995, when President Clinton launched an investigation into Cold War radiation programs. Families learned, sometimes 40 years later, that their children's remains had been dissected and exported without permission. I think here's the part that stings the most. No one was prosecuted. No one faced any consequences. History quietly shrugged and just moved on. When we talk about conspiracy theories, it's easy to drift into fantasy or paranoia, but Project Sunshine reminds us of something much deeper. The most dangerous of conspiracies aren't imagined. They're the ones that are in the name of progress and behind closed doors, by people who believe that the end justified anything. It's a lesson that the universe is always whispering. Science without ethics becomes horror. Power without transparency becomes abuse. And grief deserves truth, no matter the decade. Project Sunshine is a reminder that questioning authority isn't cynicism, it's responsibility. Because if history teaches us anything, it's that the impossible isn't always fiction. And sometimes the truth is darker than any conspiracy ever was. I'm Jason, this has been Through the Bulk, and I appreciate you stepping into the dark with me.